Oi, this is Property Sensei. I believe most of you know what is EC, right? EC stands for Executive Condominium, which are essentially same as condo in terms of hardware, like facilities, boundaries, security, etc. And most people may know two things about ECs. You need to be eligible to buy, and that it is priced lower than comparable condos. But got so simple, man. So today, let's delve into the difference between ECs and private condos on various aspects to compare the pros and cons and stay to the end to understand why each may or may not be suitable for you. Let's start with who. So, who can buy? For new ECs, you need to be under eligible schemes and family nucleus. Also, the combined monthly household income has to be $16,000 and below. You cannot own any private residential property as well. These are just some basics, and there are a lot more details. So, it has a stringent eligibility criteria. For private condos, it is less restrictive, no income ceiling as well. Single buyers, multiple property owners, PRs, foreigners, entities, all can buy. Which brings us to the next question. What is the stamp duty you pay? For private condo, depending on your profile, you may incur additional buyer's stamp duty, ABSD. For ECs, there is no ABSD payable. This is beneficial, especially for current HDB owners. If you buy a private condo at Singaporean second property, there will be a 20% ABSD. For EC, you do not have to pay ABSD and can continue to stay in your HDB, kill TOP, then sell. Sounds good, right? But then, where are all these new launches? For private condo, there are much more developments, more widespread in different areas, and also have mixed development with retail commercial. Also have integrated, which comes linked to MRT and sometimes even bus interchange. For ECs, they are more likely to be situated in outside central region OCR and typically not near to MRT. This is to keep the plots more affordable to upgraders. For example, an EC in Orchard would not be possible, because even with subsidized land price, it will still be too high. Due to new infrastructure transformation, we are very lucky to have some upcoming ECs that are nearer to MRT. But we also need to keep in mind that EC plots are more limited. In recent years, average may be around 1 to 2 plots or so per year, so location-wise is more limited and subject to URA and HDB. For East lovers, you will be super happy to know that there are 2 upcoming plots in Tampines and 1 in Pasir Ris, but in sub-areas like Punggol and Sengkang, it has been quite some time, and won't have any in the foreseeable future. Maybe 2028 at least. So now you found a project that you like. The next very important question is how to buy. For new private condo, it is very straightforward. You will pay some booking fee, exercise fee, stamp duty, with the remaining spread out between the different construction stages. This is also known as progressive payment. For ECs, there are 2 types of payment schemes. Normal payment scheme, which is the same as private condo, and deferred payment scheme, which is only available for ECs, where you will still need to pay the booking fee, exercise fee, and stamp duty, with the remaining to be ready upon TOP. This can be very useful, especially for current HDB owners, for financial planning and affordability. There is also CPF housing grant available for eligible buyers. However, this may not be a huge advantage as buyers who qualify may have an issue with loan after. Speaking about loan, how much you can loan is about affordability. So, it is important to understand the difference between mortgage servicing ratio (MSR) and total debt servicing ratio (TDSR). TDSR applies to all residential properties and is currently at 55%, meaning that maximum 55% of income can be used to service all monthly obligations, including car loan, personal loan, credit card, etc. And of course, the housing loan that you are applying for. While MSR applies only for HDB and new ECs before MOP, and is currently at 30%, meaning that maximum 30% of income can be used to service your housing loan. This does not need to consider other obligations. So, especially for people with little or no other loans, it can make quite a difference. As an example, a couple earning $16,000, which is the maximum income ceiling for EC, and is on a 30 years loan tenure. If they buy EC, they can only loan around $950,000. Say, if they want to purchase a EC at a $1.6 million price, they will still need to come up with quite a bit of cash and CPF. But if they buy private, they can loan around $1.74 million, increasing their affordability. Say now, this couple is older, with only 20 years loan tenure. Their maximum loan for EC is only around $758,000. To buy the same EC at $1.6 million, they will need to come up with even more capital. Having a current HDB and others assets will really help for this. Moving on, after you own the property, you will also need to know when can you sell. For this, you will need to understand the difference between seller's stamp duty (SSD) and minimum occupation period (MOP). SSD applies to all residential properties. It is not restrictive, but rather to discourage short-term flipping by imposing a tax if you sell within the first 3 years. TOP is when you receive your keys, right? So, if you buy a private condo new launch at an earlier stage, by the time it TOP, 3 years may likely have passed, and you can plan accordingly. For new ECs, there is FOP, where you can only sell 5 years after TOP. Adding in a normal construction time frame, you are looking at around 8 to 9 years. So, the holding period is much longer, meaning that there can be opportunity costs. For high-flyer couples, it will mean a longer period before they can upgrade to larger units. The holding period is also restrictive, which means a risk, and so you must plan your finances properly as well. For EC, there is also a clear difference between 5 years and 10 years after TOP. After the 5 years MOP, you can sell to everyone, except foreigners and corporate entities. After 10 years, you can then sell to foreigners and corporate entities as well. You may ask, why are all this important? It's about how all these pieces of puzzle are put together and make a difference. If someone were to tell you today that EC only make money 10 years after TOP, you probably know more than that person now. Let's look at 2 factors in the resale market then, which is buyer pool and their affordability. After 5 years, buyer pool is increased with PR, singles, and also not restricted by income, means above 16,000 also can buy. Buyers are also no longer assessed by MSR, but by TDSR. Together with the removal of ceiling cap, means greater affordability. After 10 years, foreigners and corporate entities can buy, but this has minimal impact, as EC location is not typically what they will go for. What about someone they say, you will make more money buying EC than private condo? For the individual buyer, we are not talking about the same holding period, so it's not an apple-to-apple comparison. Today's tip from Property Sensei is, whether you go for an EC or condo will really depend on your situation. If your income is below $16,000 and only a HDV, perhaps EC may be a better choice due to the EBST remission, which makes it easier to upgrade. However, if you are a first-timer who wants more and quicker capital appreciation, probably a condo may work better for you. Remember, nothing is as good or as bad as it seems. For a more detailed analysis of your situation, you can always let our Property Sensei advisors know, and we can have a quick discussion with you. See you in the next class.